Hello, my name is Ashani Yapa. I'm a registered migration agent here at Sirus Migration. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the requirements set by each state when you're applying for subclass 888 permanent residency visa from subclass 188A business innovation visa. I have previously done two videos. One is explaining the basic requirement to be eligible for subclass 188A business innovation visa, and the second video is the Department of Home Affairs requirement when you are applying for permanent residency through subclass 188A business innovation visa. If you haven't seen these videos, I highly recommend you to see them now before you go through this video so you can understand the full picture of what I'm about to talk about. I have put links to both of these videos in the description down below for your reference. It is very important to understand that for both subclass 188A provisional visa and also subclass 888 permanent visa, you need to meet both Department of Home Affairs requirements as well as the state requirement. Why this is necessary? It's because you need to get a nomination from your current state before you can actually lodge the visa application with Department of Home Affairs. And some states have their own requirement, which is sometimes higher than the Department of Home Affairs requirement. So if you want to be really successful in getting into subclass 188 visa and also obtaining permanent residency through that, it is very important for you to understand both of these requirements and make sure that you can fulfill both of these requirements before you actually go ahead with the visa application. Now I will explain the requirements set by New South Wales government. So that is if you're currently in Australia with your business in Sydney or regional New South Wales and wanting to apply for permanent residency through subclass 888, this is the requirement set by New South Wales. So the business activity requirement is you must be involved in a business or multiple businesses that is actively operating throughout the last 2 years. The net asset requirement, if your business is in Sydney, which is higher than the Home Affairs requirement, by the way, the net business assets of at least $300,000, and also you must prove the net personal and business assets of at least $900,000. But if your business is in regional New South Wales, then the requirement, the net asset requirement is similar to the Home Affairs criteria, which is net assets in the business is at least $200,000 and net personal and business assets the requirement is at least $600,000. Now I will go through the business investment criteria. If your business is in Sydney, then you must have invested at least $500,000 in your business for the last 12 months. But if your business is in regional New South Wales, then the requirement is equivalent to the Home Affairs requirement again, which is you must have invested at least $300,000 in the last 12 months. So this investment can be for property, plant and equipment, inventory or purchase of goodwill. Now I will go through the Victorian criteria in order to get a subclass 888 nomination from Victoria. So if you have held a subclass 188 visa in Victoria, which is Melbourne or regional Victoria, you must make sure that all applicants who have signed a nomination agreement from Victoria, at the time of their signing, they must have agreed to some conditions with regards to living in Victoria, the type of business and the business activity. If it's an export business, the export business activity, and also how many employment creations and some educational qualifications and English requirement. So Victorian applicants who are waiting for a subclass 888 nomination must make sure that they fulfilled all the requirements that they agreed at the time of accepting their provisional nomination from Victoria. Now I will go through the state requirement of South Australia in order for you to get a nomination from South Australia for subclass 888 visa. You must hold a provisional business innovation stream visa nominated by South Australia, or you have completed a release form if you were nominated from a different state. You must meet the Department of Home Affairs criteria for subclass 888 visa. You must prove that your primary residence and your business was located in South Australia for minimum of 2 years before you apply for the nomination. There is a good thing about South Australia. There are some waivers available for the Department of Home Affairs criteria for turnover and asset requirement and the employee requirement if your business is located in a regional South Australia, and if you can prove that the area that your business is situated in has a smaller customer base, you may be able to get a waiver for the $300,000 turnover requirement or waiver for 2 out of the 3 following Department of Home Affairs requirements. So the first requirement is $200,000 in net business assets, $600,000 in net personal and business assets, and the 2 full-time employees. So if your business is located in regional South Australia, you may be able to get a waiver for 2 of these requirements. Now I will go through the state nomination criteria for subclass 888 visa in Western Australia. In Western Australia, you must have lived in Western Australia or maintain a residence in Western Australia for at least 1 year in the last 2 years immediately before you applying for subclass 888 nomination. And also you have to prove that you own and manage up to 2 actively trading businesses in Western Australia during the last 24 months. You have to prove that your main business or businesses had a combined turnover of at least $300,000 in the last 12 months, unless the government of Western Australia has determined that there are exceptional circumstances. And the other important thing about Western Australia is when you get your subclass 188 nomination from Western Australia, normally they ask you to sign a state nomination agreement, which includes the total net assets in Western Australia, the total net assets in businesses in Western Australia, the type of the business activity, location of the business activity, and new employment creation. So if you signed such agreement with Western Australia when you get your subclass 188A nomination, you must make sure that you fulfill all the requirements in this agreement before you can get a nomination from Western Australia. Please note that Queensland, Australian Capital Territory, Northern Territory, Regional New South Wales and Tasmania has the same requirement to get a nomination for subclass 888 from their state as the Home Affairs requirement. As I said earlier, I have done a previous video explaining the Home Affairs requirement in detail. So please refer to that video for the detailed requirement for these states. If you require any assistance with your current business visa, or if you're planning to lodge a subclass 188 or any other business visa, please get in touch with us. We are more than happy to assist you with any inquiry you have. Thank you so much. We are trying to get a video out to you about Australian immigration once a week. Please subscribe to our channel so next time you will get notified once our next video is released. Thank you.